Explain to people how much of an innovation geek you are in the sense
Oh,
of what you do and where you come from.
I'm a massive innovation geek. So I've had like lots of people. My career's been a kind of winding, occasionally potholes journey to get me to where I am today. So I guess, we'll skip over the time I spent waitressing in Wales and my first job in London, which was advertising sales, which I was spectacularly bad at. We'll skip over those. So I guess my first kind of the first career where I really felt that I was doing something I loved was as a business psychologist, or an occupational psychologist, as we tend to refer to our profession in the UK. And since then, we started talking about innovation because I did a PhD in the psychology of innovation, and that took me a spectacularly long time. I think it was 7 years while parenting two really small children. And so I must have been really passionate about it because I pursued it to its completion. And, and I love innovation. Innovation's fascinating to me. I hope I've learned quite a lot about it on the way. My next role was as the director of innovation for an innovation agency based in London. And I still work with them. We still work together on some things. And now, my next step, my current career, is that I'm the founder of a company called Human Wonder, which still focuses very much on innovation. It's about helping people to thrive. So we have a network of coaches and therapists, and so we offer one-to-one coaching and therapy. But we also do quite innovation and creativity focused team coaching as well. So I very much kept innovation as a strand throughout my career, which is what I love. I'm most comfortable doing something in the space of innovation, but this is quite a new thing for me to be the founder of a company. This is a company that I set up just over a year ago with two co-founders. And we were talking just before we went live, weren't we, that I spent a few years working as the director of innovation and helping big teams and organizations innovate to get ideas off the ground, to co-create solutions to problems, to get underneath the problem, what's really holding us back. And then I work with them to get these phenomenal innovations off the ground. The art of innovating yourself is actually very different. So, being an entrepreneur and building a business from the ground up is a very different experience to teaching teams, helping teams, supporting teams to do it themselves. So this has been a real a journey for me, and one I'm really glad I'm on. But innovation's hard.
But it's interesting, isn't it? And I know we'll touch on this as we go. But there's experience that is theoretical, and experience which is practical, and experience which is with large teams. And just to reference that with Amy's background around sort of helping the NHS and helping the Royal Mail, which is very sort of big UK institutions, and now sort of Amy coming into your own sort of your own setup, it is totally different, and we'll come on to that in a little bit. But so before we just get into sort of some of the questions, a couple of things really for those of you who are watching perhaps this. I really wanted to bring Amy in here, partly because of that background and sort of that academic rigor that is brought to the innovation discussion, which means that for me, a lot of the learning that we do in the real estate sector, quite often we look at it as a sort of an industrial silo. We understand innovation in the sense of the real estate industry, and I think it's important that we look externally. But I really wanted to bring that academic aspect into this as well, because a lot of the stuff that I'm currently learning and trying to understand really comes from that academic world, and we should be testing ourselves and helping our own learning from that side. So I hope this is a useful conversation. Sort of going back to this as a series, for those of you who are not aware, these are live streamed interviews. If you'd like to ask Amy any questions, whether you're on Twitter or LinkedIn, YouTube, wherever it might be, just pop it in the comments and I will pick it up as we go through. And please, I'll do it. I don't expect anybody to, but if you do, I will be listening and looking. So I'd love to bring those questions in.